I have to say, this has been the strangest generation ever. My fellow PlayStation fans, you have been gaslighting all of Xbox, making it sound like their capitulation is because PlayStation has been so superior, not necessarily weighing other factors like the market shifting, the market changing, and live services everywhere. One of my audience members noted something to me based on Xbox's previous statements back in the Xbox One generation that they weren't going to be bringing all their games to the, PC platform. That was just a shift for a few games, that they were going to maintain this, possibility that Xbox, the console, be their foremost overarching platform. Things have changed since then. PlayStation, on the other hand, kind of in a sense brought out their Horizon Zero Dawn game when fans were complaining that, hey, this is a problem. Here's something that was said by Herman Holst. So Mo Money B1, shout out to you for actually taking the time to copy paste all this stuff. I tracked down the article because YouTube filters links. It's very interesting. You said from an old post, you posted all this stuff, and this is the post over here in 2020, March 10th. Herman Holst Q&A interview with the head of PlayStation Worldwide Studios. There was a question in this particular, Q&A that was asked to him. And in this particular question, he made a specific answer towards what was going on with the shift from their full console exclusivity to Horizon moving to PC. So here's the question in this whole thing. The person asking says, this is a PlayStation blog interviewer, PlayStation is no stranger to publishing titles on a PC, but Horizon Zero Dawn is one of the largest games to make that leap. Is there anything you would say to PlayStation fans? What does it mean for the future? Herman Holst answers and said, I think it's important that we stay open to new ideas of how to introduce more people to PlayStation and show people maybe what they've been missing out on. And to maybe put a few minds at ease, releasing one first-party AAA title to PC doesn't necessarily mean that every game will now come to PC. In my mind, Horizon Zero Dawn was just a great fit in this particular instance. We don't have plans for day-and-date PC releases, and we remain 100% committed to dedicated hardware. This has significantly changed because day and date is something that they came to modify later on, where live service games now come day and date. And according to them, single player games do not come day and date. And they've still then modified that to two different layers of day and date. Lego Horizon Adventures came day and date Until Dawn remake, and the remakes have been coming day and date, as well as a game like Lost Soul Aside, which has been announced for day and date. So there is no world where I can respect the PlayStation fan who sits here and tells me that exclusivity has been PlayStation's strongest feat post PlayStation 4. It's not happening anyways. And let me even give you guys more context, because I think this is very important. The context here is that PlayStation fans found themselves in a very interesting place. When Lego Horizon Adventures was announced for the PC, they were all over the internet throwing a big fit. In fact, I've shown you guys this stuff many times, where they were dragging a former producer for Guerrilla for coming out to say, guys, we need to all calm down about this whole thing, because people were, in a sense, reacting like crazy. In fact, some people put up a fake video of somebody who wanted publicity, pretending that they were a PlayStation fan, and they smashed their PlayStation all over the place. And that's when this developer came out, this Sam Sharma, or he was a producer, and said people needed to chill out. But other folk in the PlayStation community, like this so-called Joel Santos, said a former Guerrilla producer doesn't understand that the success built by his former company was done so on the basis of outstanding exclusives, and that by scrapping that exclusivity diminishes the brand value. This is definitely something that we need to point out, because Xbox making its move to PC saw PlayStation fans pretending like, oh, it's because Xbox was dead and dying and doing all these things, not acknowledging that within the coffers of both companies, their motives moving to PC was to reach other folk, other fans, other gamers out there with their software in a changing market where many, many software developers, which is basically now game developers, are available here. Now, I have no problem with PlayStation actually doing this. I absolutely don't. In fact, I have championed this and I've been rooting for them to do this. It's the problem I have is those hyper fans that are constantly on my case, pretending like somewhere, somehow, there's some, PlayStation that is supersonic in its business dealings, when in reality, they're just like everybody else. Why PlayStation doesn't even have its own PC launcher, even though it's bare bones, is still shocking to me. I needed them to have their own PC launcher. Sure, maybe they're hated by the PC community. Sure, maybe because they're adding the new PlayStation requirement is a problem. Sure, but that would actually give them more of a, leeway to add that PlayStation Plus or PlayStation account requirement like Ubisoft and EA. And forget that, thing about, gamers are not really going to like other platforms. That's a good number of gamers, but then there are also a number of gamers who would use another platform. Ubisoft shipped 10 million copies of The Division on Uplay before it finally brought it to Steam. Again, they've changed their policy where they're bringing all their games to Steam, but that's because the quality of their games have basically diminished. Unless PlayStation is not certain about the quality of its games, then it's basically capitulating to Steam and basically saying, we can't do anything better than Steam or Epic Games in this case. So let us basically see PlayStation in the light that it is. And that's where my challenge has always come from in this gaming conversation. Because, man, the way people made it sound, Xbox has got no games. PlayStation destroyed Xbox so much that Xbox had to move to and pivot to PC. Ha 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 ha. When right in front of you, under your nose, PlayStation fans are complaining, even for, at the time, Horizon Zero Dawn, old game moving to PC. Remember that. Remember that. In fact, people were even telling you all the truth at the time. This person said not a single PlayStation branded game was in the top 10 best-selling games until 2018, and then the console had already sold to a very large percent of its current audience. Exclusives didn't sell as many consoles as you think, Chief. GTA did. And PlayStation cannot be waiting 13 years for GTA games. Like, these companies cannot be waiting that long, so they got to go out there and find people to buy their games. So in introducing this, they can develop a fan base and an audience that is craving or looking forward to their games and to their sequels. Herman Holst even came out more recently to talk about the possibility of them even pulling players to buy a PlayStation to play, say, sequels and anthologies, of which the media came out and said, what? PC players would wait for a game to go from Epic to Steam. They'll wait years for that to happen before they'll go buy a console. So PlayStation needs this audience. It needs the PC audience. It's been showing that it needs it because it's an idea that feels good for profits and lining pockets. All that talk from that article that came out just recently with their investors, that they don't see PC as a competitor, to me, it seems like they see PC as a valid platform for them to be able to make money that is not, in a sense, hardware, adverse to them. However, if their fans truly believe that this diminishes the PlayStation brand, that they will never buy a PlayStation console anymore because of this, they still don't seem like they're that bothered about it. Because if they can still sell software, they're happy about it, just like Xbox is happy about it. Wow. Shout out to the audience member of ours, Mo Money B, for putting this stuff right here in front of me. I'm so surprised as to how all this while it just makes it seem like, man, I don't know, bro. I don't know. It's very interesting nonetheless. PlayStation is moving. It's moving to PC. It's going to bring all its games to PC day one. It's just softening the blow for the way the Rabbit fans are. The Rabbit fans kind of show that they could be, in a sense, really vocal about it. But then there were some other fans that were like, what does it bother you? If you want to play on a PlayStation, play on a PlayStation. Right? There were fans who actually were being sensible about the conversation even back then. And so this whole thing moving to PC day one, it's not going to affect many PlayStation fans as some of you think it will be. It will. They won't care. They'll be like, what do I care? I bought a PlayStation to play the game. Do I get the game? I get the game. All the stuff that y'all have been accusing Xbox of, you're going to see it happen on your own. In fact, you're already seeing it happen on your own platform. And you don't seem bothered by it. In fact, you're defending it. You're saying things like Lego is, who cares about Lego? You're saying things like it's a live service game. When back then, Herman Holst was telling y'all that not every game would then come to PC, while now every game is coming to PC. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Nothing. You're going to continue playing on your PlayStation. It's not going to affect you. It never did affected you. It never even really did push the consoles as much as people said it did. It was a third-party exclusives that they were money-hatting that was helping them at least make a case for, like, oh, that we're here to push, these consoles. It wasn't really their games that were the top sellers. If what this commenter is saying on here is true about the games not being bestsellers until about 2018, which is, I think, is quite right, because I remember Marvel's Spider-Man, and I've said this before, that Marvel Spider-Man, that 2018, at the height of PlayStation's, biggest jam was 2018 with God of War 2018 and, Spider-Man. And even by 2016, people were already moving to PC. I moved to PC in 2016. Back to PC in 2016. So this is very interesting to see how the market has really, really morphed itself into a market where PC is now going to be this next fighting ground for both of them. And PlayStation has tactfully moved very, very carefully with very minimal controversy, controlling the narrative. And these Xbox fans, some of you are in my books. You've pretended as if you did not see PlayStation's move all this while, copying Xbox. And the PC player, has to come out here and actually clean up them basically spouting nonsense all over the place. And some of you eating it up. What a shame. Both businesses are looking for money at the end of the day. They'll go find it wherever they can. If the PC market reaches a saturation point where PlayStation can no longer penetrate and build an audience, behold, they will launch games on Xbox. It is the inevitable for these companies. This stuff that you're seeing Xbox doing, they're just more comfortable in telling you that we're going to go make money first. PlayStation has to wait long enough for everybody to kind of ease up a little bit and then pretend, because they want to show a position of strength. That's all it is. It's just a facade. When Microsoft actually, pretty much implemented strength with $70 billion, their CEO was flying around the world like, he was on a freaking merry-go-round talking to regulators. Oh, you can't let this deal go through. It's going to harm PlayStation. We see who actually now has power in terms of both of them, right? One of them can wield huge sums of money and basically sway an entire evolution in an industry that you didn't see coming out of nowhere. So let's all be very, very cautious and careful as to how we're touting the status of these companies. As much as I can tell you right now that Xbox has a content lead, they have a management challenge on their hands, one that can break and destroy all what they've put together with $70 billion. It's not impossible for it to all go awry. Don't get me wrong. If they don't manage well, it can be all wasted in a heartbeat. We've seen it happen with studios. We've seen studios like Bungie basically be served on a platter with big publishers at their behest, and then basically snub and thumb their nose at all this stuff. And now look where they are. They've ended up with PlayStation, who pretty much only wants a small piece of what it is that they have, and they sold out for, very minimal. Bungie had potential oozing out their ears, but poor management. Talk to me in the comment section, guys. Hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Appreciate you guys' time and audience. Peace out.